We're going to make a two series out of that, where we're going to go through different types of relationships that are at high risk for divorce. And, whoever is married can look into that and to see if he is at high risk, if the relationship is at high risk. And for those who are not married, look at your relationship before you divorce, see what your relationship evaluated, because you might just fall into this category. And be a wise person and call it off before it's too late. So the first ones are the type of relationships that are not a equal relationship. There's no equilibrium in their relationship. And what do I mean by that? We're not talking about a specific situation that one is, for example, one is always preparing let's say, a romantic dinner. One of the partners in the relationship is the romantic one who makes a dinner or gives gifts, and the other ones is not. Right? And there are some people who like to give gifts, and some people who are very bad at giving gifts. If I have to think about giving a gift, for example, I'm horrible in that. I don't know what to give gifts to people. Argument's sake, take my sister or my daughter, they just pull gift ideas out of their sleeves, but we're not talking about something like this. But I'm talking about a lack of equilibrium in a relationship when you have one side who is always supporting, always encouraging, one side that is always the listening ear, is that side that's willing to listen and gives advice and shows love and so on and so forth. And the other side doesn't put much effort into that in order to make the other person feel good. So in a relationship like that, at a certain stage, that dynamics is going to the person who keeps on doing this and keeps on giving and keeps on listening and keeps on, investing in the relationship is going to simply get fed up with that. That side is going to feel used, taken advantage of, disappointed, and would come to realize that he's been taken for granted. Once you reach that stage, from here to separation is a very short path. I do have to say that sometimes also there will be the first stage for not only a separation, but also for a betrayal in the relationship. You need a recognition and so on and so forth. They're going to go somewhere else to find it. And that does not make a difference whether it's a husband or wife. That is, and you got to look at this very carefully. For example, when you date someone, right, you need to see if the person always demands. It always have to be according to their schedule, their needs, their so on and so forth. If that is the case, don't even bother. Don't even bother. I have work, it has to be according to my work. I can't be seen in this place, I can't be going to that place, I can't do it this time, you have to come to me, I can't go to you. It's a very unhealthy way to get involved with. Break it before it started. If you're in a relationship, a married relationship already with that, I think you have a problem. It's like I know you have a problem. That's a very, very dangerous situation to be in. Many people do that. And many people allow this in the relationship. Let's say, for example, one side says, you know what? I'll do the dishes today. Or I'll cook today. And then the next day. And then the next day. And all of a sudden the expectation becomes that you will do this all the time. And then when you don't want to do it, he said, what do you mean? You've been doing this all the time. Why should, and on and on and on. He said, for crying out loud, I've been doing this all the time. A good word I didn't hear from you. Now it became my job. It's a problem. The relationship needs to be equal. There's nothing wrong if a husband will help to do some house chores. Nothing wrong. You're not going to make you less of a man. Let me tell you that. If you think it's going to make you less of a man, I think you should join the armed forces. I think ultimately it's very good to join the armed forces. If you don't want to grow up one way, the army will make you, or the armed forces will make you into a real man one way. And you'll see the real men do clean toilets, the real men do dishes, and they do sweep the floor, and they make the beds, and so on and so forth. Yes, if you need to go to the army to learn that, you know what? Go to the army and do that. But don't think they will make you less of a man to help. And if you're not helping, at least appreciate it. That's a very unequal relationship when one side does and the other side doesn't. Most of the people fall into this trap. You better be careful. You better be careful. You better be careful. This is something that is very common to most couples. One side always gives, one side always receives. That kind of a relationship is a dead-end relationship. There's no two-way street, two-way communication. That's a dead end. Most of the people fail on that. You do that, you're at high risk for a divorce. And there is another one. We're going to go to maybe like 3 or 4 different couples, and then we'll see. And I call this people the shopping list relationship. The shopping list relationship. You'll be surprised. There are many couples who are together because it looks good on paper. It looks good on paper. And that relationship fits exactly their shopping list. For example, you look at the shidduchim, the list of the shidduchim, what are you looking for? Okay, I want a person who is tall, who doesn't smoke, who has a career, who learns and earns and all these earns and earns, right? Who is fit, who is friendly, or is sensitive, or is spontaneous, or is romantic, blah, 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 right? I want this. Okay, check. Good. Let's get married. All of a sudden, you ask for the check so much, you could see that there's not enough in your bank account to actually pay for the checks. And many people do that. On paper it looks good, we're getting married. And many times that, even though that they look amazingly good on paper, there's hardly any chemistry between them. Hardly any chemistry between them. And if there's no chemistry between them, for sure there's no attraction. And I'm not talking about sexual attraction. Attraction that draws the people together. And by the way, what happens if I take 2 magnets and I put the 2 minuses and 2 pluses together? What happened?
Repulsion.
You see? You need a what? A minus and a plus. As simple as that. You want somebody who looks like you just wearing skirts. Or she wants somebody like her wearing pants. And most guys think that they're going to marry a girl that wears, a guy that wears skirts. They want a girl who's going to sit down and enjoy football with them and drink beer and burp and all that stuff. They think girls do that. They don't understand. And most girls think that they are going to marry a girl that wears a skirt. A guy who's going to be able to appreciate her nails and do all this, Two different entities. And it's good that we are two different entities. It's good that guys like what guys likes and girls like what girls like. It's good. That's what we need, by the way, a father and a mother in a relationship, right? We need those two opposites to make one product together. In a relationship like that is all good on the paper, there's not going to be any excitement. And the question is, how long such a relationship can last? How long? It is clear that sooner than later they're going to feel some kind of an emptiness in their relationship, and they're going to understand that the connection or between the two of them is simply a facade. It's a show. There's no substance to it whatsoever. I'm very against marrying people at 18 years old. Very much against that. At 18 years old, you don't know anything about life. No, she knows anything about life. And I can tell you this, it's a very primitive thing to marry at 18 years old. Primitive. I don't have a problem saying that. Because on the altar of political correctness, we sacrifice freedom of speech. It's primitive. What does she know about life? You marry an 18-year-old girl. What does she know about life? What do you know about life? So what are people going to tell you? All of a sudden, have a baby. And we'll talk about this some other time. Your life does not have any substance to it. Your life is going to be driven by fear. Oh, I have to pay this. I don't have money. This is a way to live life. So where are you going to get your comfort and sense of meaning? You're going to do other things. Again, like you're going to cheat on your wife. Who's that? Male? So, a relationship like this doesn't last long. A relationship like this does not last long. And sooner than later, they're going to need some kind of like external excitement in their lives because it's empty. It's just on the outside. It's like in the westerns, when you see the streets like this. Many times it's just a facade. There's like nothing in the back. They open the door, they enter in something. There's nothing there. Just a facade. That's how those relationships are. On paper, it looks good. There's no substance to it together. Because you went with a shopping list. I want her to be skinny, long hair, black hair. What difference does it make? She's going to cover her hair anyway. I want her to be this, check. You're going to marry a Barbie doll. Go to Japan, make yourself a robot, and marry her. Maybe there will be more substance than that. Because all of a sudden, this girl turns out to be something else. On paper, she was good. On paper. You live for the image, you're going to die by the image. That's very important. Third type of people. On the other side of that, we have those people, we call them, the floaters. They go with the flow, the floaters. And these are the people who simply had they didn't have any kind of a list. Excuse me. They just went along with it. Right? And there are plenty of people, dating, okay, it's good, let's go get married. Okay, fine, let's go get married. But no list, no criteria whatsoever. They simply went with things. There could be people that say that they have some kind of like a tremendous chemistry together, and it's very good for them to be with each other. They're feeling good with each other, and so on and so forth. Everything is good, everything is dandy, everything's terrific. But guess what? One wants children, the other one doesn't want children. One side wants 2 kids, the other one wants 7 kids. They never spoke about anything, right? You have to understand that there are certain values that are so strong and they're so powerful that you cannot give them up. So if you think that you're going to marry this person and you're going to change their mind, for example, they're not Shomer Shabbat so much, I'll make her Shomer Shabbat. Slowly, trust me, I'll make her Shomer Shabbat. Right? Or Shomer Negiah, God forbid. By the way, you want your relationship to end quickly, don't be Shomer Negiah. I'll tell you that. You want to curse your relationship, don't be Shomer Negiah. I'm telling you that. You cannot change a person. You can change a person. Would you marry a woman who you say, you know what? She's a little bit schizophrenic. She's a little schizophrenic. She's also clinically depressed or bipolar or, whatever you want to call her. I'll marry her. I'll fix her. Trust me. Smoch al adot. Trust me, I'll fix her. Not thinking, what are you? One flew over the cuckoo nest. You're going to be staying with this lunatic the rest of your life. You cannot change her. So you will not say that about a person who is a schizophrenic or something like this. Well, I can't do this. But you're going to say a person who's mechalel Shabbat, or a person who she's willing to consider not to wear pants. She's willing to consider not to. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, bebed. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, thank you. You're willing to consider not to wear pants. You can consider whatever you want, but not with me. That's not acceptable. I don't want you to wear pants at home, and I don't want you to wear pants in a shower. I'm the one who's wearing the pants. You can wear a skirt. Let me ask you a question. How would she feel if she says, you know what? I'm willing, as a man, all right? I'm willing to only wear skirts at home. How would you feel about that? I'm sure for that she will say, oh no, what's the matter with you? So what's the matter with me? What's the matter with you? Why is it okay for you to wear pants? It's not okay for me to wear a skirt. Huh? You ever thought about that? No, I want to be like Axl Rose, we wear a kilt. Take me down to the Paradise City. So, good band. Guns N' Roses? Good band. Oh, won't you please? You see what happened 2 years? Guy was skinny. He had like hips like a snake. It was like this. All of a sudden, it became like a big fat slob, That's what 50-year-old, 54-year-old man looks like, Habib, and there's nothing to do. Anyway, going back to where we were. You can't change those things. Chemistry, we are terrific. I understand her, she understands me, we're grooving, we are completing each other's sentences. I say tomato, she says spaghetti, I don't know, whatever. Right? We are on the same groove here. We are flowing with each other. You're right. Also, a lot of stuff flows down the toilet. That's exactly where your relationship is going. All these things the stories you're telling to yourself, which are no more than a recipe for a disaster, which is another Guns N' Roses album, and that's the end for today.